began doing the requested abdominal work on him, he became somewhat vocal, with muffled moans, etc., and he began demanding that I go lower and massaging on the abdominal area. I was shocked, and I did not massage beyond what is considered a safe non-sexual area of the abdomen. He further insisted in acting angry, becoming verbally sharp and loud. I went into much deeper shock as I realized it appeared he was demanding sexual favors or sexual behaviors. I decided to I got so freaked, I got a tiny bit mad under my terror. I decided to clarify things by asking him, as he angrily complained that I was not doing what he wanted, for him to show me exactly what he wanted me to do, such as wear a massage. I said, well, why don't you show me? Because I thought, this is too nuts. He grabbed my right hand hard, shoved it down under the sheet to his pubic hair area, and said to me, there, in a very sharp, loud, angry-sounding tone.
Now that she is talking about the man who would save the world from global warming. You know, there's a bit of psychology here. And aside from the salaciousness and the jokes and the comedic nature of it, one could do a reasonable thesis in psychology on a man so obsessed with the concept, the false concept of global warming when there is none, and his own heat, his own body heat, his own mental heat. In other words, this man is in heat all the time. He's horny, in other words, frustrated. And here's a man who's rich and powerful, right, revered by millions, and he can't get any sex. So he goes to some poor masseuse and tries to get, release. And he picks the wrong one. He actually picks a straight one, the one out of 1,000 that's actually in it for the massage, as opposed to the... Listen to the next one in clip 5.
He was moaning, groaning, moving, and acting in a very suggestive way. It was unreal. I never even had any of my hotel clients get angry, yell, or act out at me before. During the massage episode, I realized much to my horror that I was in the perfect storm and that I was in a room with someone who was Teflon-coated in terms of his credibility and celebrity status.
All right, so again, this is amazing how stupid these rich guys, it's amazing to me when you compare this one to a Spitzer, who would be so stupid as to go to hookers and pay on credit cards, number one. And this was a man who supposedly had the power over Wall Street, to show you how brilliant Spitzer was. He was the governor of New York, had the power over Wall Street, and he's so smart that he used the credit card to buy hookers. That shows you the genius. He didn't even think of using cash, let's say. So he used the credit card and got caught, and he's such a genius that CNN hired him. He's perfect for CNN. Now, the only place left for Al Gore to go would be CNN after this one, because what's coming next is something that you would hear in Marin County, California, or Austin, Texas, or some of the other denizens of idiocy, when he goes into another tactic to try to get her to touch him in inappropriate areas in clip 6.
He then tried another tactic as though he had very suddenly switched personalities and began in a pleading tone, pleading for release of his second chakra there. There's so much
Wait, stop it. Now, for those of you who don't know what a second chakra is, we're not talking about S-H-O-C-K-R-A, not chakra. In other words, not chakra. In other words, not his second chakra, meaning you release him and he has a shock and he goes raw. No, not his second chakra. His second chakra, which is a different story. But you have to be an expert on Indian food to understand that, and you have to go into Oriental restaurants and bow and put your hands together to get a napkin and a glass of water in order to understand what a chakra is. So play that one again.
He then tried another tactic as though he had very suddenly switched personalities and began in a pleading tone, pleading for release of his second chakra there. There's so much tension being held. This was yet another euphemism for sexual activity he was requesting, put cleverly as though it were a spiritual request or something. I was further deeply shocked and repulsed as my realization of what was happening sunk in, and especially as my mind was now reeling from this absolute betrayal by someone I had inherently trusted as a good guy who cares about people, including me, because of his public persona.
So she was shocked by his chakra. Let's put it to you that way. The masseuse was shocked by Gore's chakra. That's all. That's the headline. Shocked by his chakra. Accuser calls him a crazed sex poodle. I have to hide this from my poor dog. If he hears any of this, it could pervert him. This is really good stuff.
Savage.